Have you heard the term that rejection is protection from the universe? Well, today I want to dive into a little bit of a different idea where it's rejection is redirection. So if you're a handmade artisan and you're selling online, or perhaps you want to be selling online, you're in the right place. This is a Handmade Daily, and I've got new videos releasing Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And my name's Lena. I'm the very proud owner of madeit.com.au, where we have over 900 Australian artisans selling on the platform. You know, this idea about rejection is redirection, right? I think for me, I have a really core belief that everything happens for a reason. And often when we feel like something's not going our way, it's because there's a part of a story, of our own story, of our own journey that we can't possibly know. Now, is this fact? Is this truth? I'm not sure, but it's a very useful belief to live by because it allows you the space to understand that even when there's something that you want so badly and it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's happened for a reason, and there will always be a better path that's actually lined up for you. So when we're talking about rejection, I think within the artisan space, one of the key areas that comes to mind is perhaps when you're going into competitions, like art competitions, or perhaps you're applying for markets where they're application only. And it could even be your application to join Made It. Maybe you haven't been successful there yet, right? But I think there's always a reason. And, you know, the hard thing is, like when we're talking about galleries and markets, as an example, we don't often get the feedback that actually gives us clarity around why we fall short. And I think it's a really good thing to remember that anywhere that you're putting yourself forward in that kind of limited spot sort of space, right? There will always be a formula in which, you know, the gallery or the markets are actually selecting. And there will always be a prerequisite about what they're looking for as well. So I think first and foremost, when we're going through that phase of rejection, right, because it can feel really personal, even when it's not, right, is that it's really good if you're kind of getting stuck on this, right, to go back to where it is that you've been rejected or in what instance you've been rejected and get real clarity around what actually was accepted at that time. And then layer on top of that as well, that sometimes the timing is just not right for you right now, and it's actually not explainable. And I think that that leads into, you know, especially with art competitions and with galleries, is that it can be also an indication of their connections and what they're trying to build there, but which may not always make sense to you. I hope this is actually making sense to you. But I like to see that rejection as like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to be doing that right now. I wonder what I am supposed to be doing right now. You know, there's two words for me that I constantly lean on in the space of mindset, right? It's yet. You know, you haven't got there yet. And curiosity. You know, when you're in that space where you're like, I didn't get what I wanted, or I didn't get what I was going after. Ooh, let's dive in. I wonder what's happening there. I wonder where I'm going next. I wonder what is coming along my pathway that I could never have guessed was coming, and yet it was right there all along. I've often found this when something's happened with suppliers that we're using and I'm like, oh, it's not quite a match. And I felt really disappointed from it because it might have been a tech partnership or a tech collaboration. And I'm like, I really thought that was meant to be that exact way. And yet it'll be like the very next day, something else pops up, or a new partnership or a new opportunity pops up that I go, I could never have imagined that that was actually going to pop up or come along my way. So this is your opportunity today. If you've had something that you were working really hard towards and you didn't get it, you were rejected in that moment, let's start to think about it as a redirection. Grab your handmade notebook and go, if this is a redirection, where might I be going instead? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've had a moment where you've used this technique already, knowingly or subconsciously, right? I'd love to hear about it. Pop it in the comments, and have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again soon for the Handmade Daily. Bye.